Happy Thursday. Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report, and we are live on Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Alongside me on the ones and twos, producer Trizzy Trace, and all of the faithful tuned in from every pocket of America and worldwide. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in. As always, we appreciate you for making the 49ers Report a part of your day. Another loaded show, and here is the rundown of everything that we are discussing. The 49ers making a couple of roster moves that I want to talk about. We have a lot of Niners injury news to discuss. The 49ers playoff picture becoming a lot more interesting after that Monday night loss to the Baltimore Ravens. We have a new Brock Purdy injury update. And of course, this is the most interactive YouTube channel for the faithful out there, and we want to hear from you. How do you get involved? It's very easy. Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. Let's get the comment section going to really kick things off. I want everybody to spam 4R. Chase, what does that mean? Why should I type that? 4R stands for the 49ers Report. We're glad that you're all here with us as we're about to flip the page to 2024. And even though the new year is about to come, our coverage isn't going to stop. We're still going to give you coverage every single day. Oliver Leach, Jeannie Wyatt, King's family, Sean Lewis, Ken, Ernesto, Knights, Rob, John Aiello is in the chat. Good to hear from John. Armando, Niner Babe, Jeannie Wyatt again. Scott Cassie, Gina, G, Remigio, Lil Dude Wow, Wet Noodle 187, Niner fan repping in Seahawks territory. You love that. Todd Kane, Black Mask is also here. So many real ones in the building. As you all venture in here, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video as well. Isn't it crazy that we're sitting here on this fine December 28th? It's a beautiful day with all of my beautiful people, and we're almost done the regular season with the new year coming up, quickly approaching. It is wild. Here's our super chat menu for today. All super chats get a shout out. $10 gets you on the Jeff surfboard. More on that in a moment. And our super chat MVP will be the winner of the surfboard. This coming in from our guy doing the most. And I want to show you what we're working with here. He said, Chase, I want to reach out and give you a super chat giveaway. How cool is this? You could put this in your man cave, put this in your office, put this in your room. A Niners surfboard by way of Los Cabos. And all of your names going to go on the back if you send in a $10 super chat. And we're going to send this to the super chat MVP, which will go to the largest individual super chat of the program here today. Our show sponsored by Prize Picks, the #1 and largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. I can't believe that I'm saying this in 2023 as it's about to be 2024, as we all know. I can't wait to watch Joe Flacco play football tonight. I'm going more than 199.5 passing yards for him against the New York Jets in primetime on Thursday Night Football. I like Myles Garrett because he's chasing Defensive Player of the Year to have more than 0.75 sacks. And Trevor Siemian, the Jets starting quarterback, I think he throws a pick more than a half interception. You choose more or less on 2+ players and their projected stat lines, and you get that $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Gina G saying, birthday wishes for Brock Purdy yesterday. Yes, it was Brock Purdy's birthday yesterday. If you want to wish him a happy birthday here on the show, give me those 13s in the comments section right now. Another reminder, do want to hear from you, so use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. And if you want to get on the Jeff surfboard, $10 super chat gets you on, and we'll send this to the largest individual super chat. This Niner surfboard coming from Cabos, thanks to our guy doing the most. If you're ready to get it poppin', we have 190 people watching live. Let's get that audience on the uptick. We only have 55 likes right now. Let's get to 100 likes in the next 30 seconds. I'm challenging your faithfulness to the faithful. And if you are faithful and you're a real one, make sure you like the show. More likes that we get, more people who find the stream. Be like Mike Honcho, who had a very creative comment about AG1 before the show, and make sure you like the program here. We're up to 67 likes. We're 2 away from Trizzy Trace's favorite number of 69. Trace, speaking of 69, he's wearing a really nice chain that he got from his old girl for his birthday.
2 chains.
2 chains. We're up to 87 likes, 13 away from a buck. And then we'll start the official show here. Programming alert. We'll continue to give you content every single day. I will be back on with Larry Krueger tomorrow, as long as he wants me on the show. So you can stay tuned for that. That show will be at 1:45 Eastern, 10:45 a.m. Pacific. We're up to 94 likes. Continue to like the video. 6 away from starting the official show, and boom, or should I say bang, we're able to get there. All right, a lot to get to. Let's waste no time. The 49ers Report is live, and the official show starts right now. Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. I am your host, Chase Sr., and coming up on the Niners Report Rundown, San Francisco making a couple of roster moves. Also, we're going to get to the latest Niners injury news, so stay tuned for all of that. We begin with subject matter number 1. San Francisco making a couple of roster moves this week, and I'm going to break down what they mean for this football team. We begin with Danny Gray being activated off of IR. Hello again, Danny Gray. It's been a while since we've seen you. In fact, we have not seen the former third-round pick since the preseason. San Francisco opening up the practice window for the 2022 third-round pick. He's been on IR all year with a shoulder injury, so he has not played in a single game here in 2023. And when Kyle Shanahan originally met with the media after Danny Gray went down in the preseason off a return, and that's where he got injured, he thought, and there was a belief initially, that maybe Danny Gray, who had a solid but up and down preseason and training camp, suffered a broken collarbone. There was good news. It was not a broken collarbone, instead a sprained SC joint, but that injury has obviously lingered a little bit for Gray, a vertical speedster, to not be a part of this team up until now. If he gets elevated up to the active roster, San Francisco now has 3 weeks to do that after opening up his practice window. What does this mean for the Niners offense? What's the one word that comes to mind with Danny Gray? Speed. He's a 4.3, 40-yard dash type of guy. So if he does play and if he's elevated to the Niners active roster, he can give San Francisco something that they have missed this year and in years prior. And that is deep speed, vertical speed at that wide receiver spot. And even if he doesn't catch passes, he's a vertical field stretcher to at least make the defense account for him being on the field. You ask me if I think he's going to be a part of this offense. I don't, because Kyle Shanahan is all about trust in his weapons. And I don't think he has a lot of trust in Danny Gray because he hasn't played, but also he's just not acclimated with what this team is doing right now. And it looks as though he might be another third-round miss for this organization. And it's been kind of dubious how San Francisco has missed on some third-round selections over the last couple of years. As recent as this year, they took Cam Latu out of Alabama. I like the player at Alabama. I thought the Niners maybe drafted him a little bit too high. He was not going to make this team. He suffered drop after drop in the preseason. And in training camp, in the preseason game against the Raiders, it was a bad performance in which he fumbled the football after actually making the catch. Then he suffered an injury, and basically San Francisco put him on season-ending IR for an injury that doesn't usually keep you out for the rest of the year. So he was so bad that he nearly did not make this team, and they only put him on the practice squad they put him on IR because they took him in the third round. In 2022, San Francisco took Ty Davis-Price, who they just released and then brought back to the practice squad in the third round out of LSU, and then also Danny Gray. In 2021, Trey Sermon, who didn't even last 2 years with this team. He was released in the lead up to the regular season in his sophomore campaign after he didn't play at all his rookie season. Now he's with the Indianapolis Colts and actually played well a couple of weeks ago. And then the infamous Niner legend Jalen Hurd, who had great physical ability but always got injured back, ACL, actually tried to make a return, caught a touchdown pass in the preseason with the New England Patriots, and then he decided to retire. Make sure you join us on Sunday for our Niners-Commanders watch party. It's going to be an early one for everybody kicking it with us on the West Coast, which is a lot of you, but we have people watching the show from worldwide. We will be live with an hour pregame show beginning at 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, you will be notified. Niners roster move number 2. Sebastian Joseph Day, defensive tackle, who the Niners signed earlier this week, was officially signed on Wednesday. 6'4", 310 pounds. He started 14 games with the Los Angeles Chargers this year and was surprisingly released a couple of days before Christmas. A lot of you might be familiar with the player. He was a 6th-round pick in 2016 out of Rutgers by the Los Angeles Rams. He was with that organization from 2018 to 2021, and he played well under former defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, who then became the head coach for the Chargers, and that's why Joseph Day followed Staley to Los Angeles. He was with the Chargers in 2022, 2023, after he signed a 3-year, $24 million contract, and this is about as good of a signing as you can make this late in the year for a player who has 3 sacks this year, who started 14 games, who might already become the best interior run defender on this Niners roster. His Pro Football Focus numbers, not all that eye-popping this year. The overall grade less than 60, run defense grade of 54, pass rush grade 64, 3 sacks though, 25 pressures. So those 25 pressures pretty good. And keep in mind that when you look at these numbers, the Chargers defense was so bad. And sometimes analytics don't fully tell the story. Sometimes the tape does. This guy is brute force, and he can win with a lot of power moves. I also like his quickness a little bit, and San Francisco needs to get a little bit better against the run. And Sebastian Joseph Day will help the Niners do that, especially with all of the injuries at defensive tackle. More on that in a second. 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits, and 31 tackles on top of all of those pressures. So this is an impact player who the Niners are trying to get up to speed with 2 games left in the regular season. Solid defensive tackle against the pass, against the run, and I think the Niners made this move, and we talked about this earlier this week on the breakdown of the signing when we did that breaking news segment. I think San Francisco a little bit concerned, and Kyle Shanahan even said this, about the plantar fasciitis in the foot of Arik Armstead, and at the very least, this is insurance if that injury continues to linger for Armstead. He already started practicing with San Francisco on Wednesday. He was hitting the sled. As for whether or not he's going to play on Sunday, we will certainly see. Maybe he gets a couple of plays in there against Washington. Lastly, as far as the roster moves goes, and we'll get to the injury news in a moment, Jeremy McNichols has been released. He was elevated ahead of Ty Davis Price for the last couple of games to the game day roster. He contributed on special teams. The only time we called his name is when he was called for a penalty on special teams against the Baltimore Ravens. He's been a journeyman for a reason. It is interesting, though, that he was ahead of the depth chart, ahead of Ty Davis Price. Now he's getting released, and TDP is still on this team. Again, kind of the same scenario with Danny Gray. It's probably just because he was a 3rd-round pick. Speaking of this game on Sunday against the Commanders, you going commies or you going with the Niners to get back on track? I like San Francisco in this one. I'm typing my SF. What are you typing? Get those predictions in down in the comment section right now. Coming up next, plenty of Niners injury news to get to. Stay tuned for that. But make sure you sign up with Prize Picks if you're into playing daily fantasy sports, because this is the only app that you should be using for daily fantasy sports. You get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. You pick 2 or more players, you choose more or less on their projected stat lines, and you can win real money. Here are my picks for Thursday Night Football. Joe Flacco, what a story, from his couch to airing it out and putting up digits, leading the Browns on a playoff push. More than 199.5 passing yards. Myles Garrett, making that run for Defensive Player of the Year, more than .75 sacks, and Trevor Siemian more than a half interception. All he has to do, obviously, is throw that one pick. Easy and exciting daily fantasy, prizepicks.com/CLNS. We'll put that link down in the comment section and in the description of this video because we really care about you. As for the latest Niners injury news here, San Francisco is banged up going into the Sunday game, Week 17 against the Commanders. These players not practicing throughout this week. Defensive tackle Arik Armstead, foot and knee. Aaron Banks re-aggravating that toe injury, which caused him to miss a couple of games. Safety Jair Brown, knee sprain, little bit of a concern, and more thoughts on him in a second. Jawan Jennings, still in concussion protocol. That's not good. Jalen Moore in concussion protocol as well. If Trent Williams can't go, you might be without your second string tackle as well. Limited participants. Speaking of Trent Williams, it's a good sign that he's been limited because this goes to show you he avoided major injury, but he was still limited. Ambry Thomas, knee and hand. Deebo Samuel, neck. I wonder if that happened on that play where he got popped by Marlon Humphrey but barely moved and kept moving downfield. It was a crazy play. One of the highlights of a game that didn't have many highlights. Oren Burks, knee injuries closing in on a return. Ross Dwelly with the ankle, and Javon Hargrave still out with practice, limited participant I should say because of that hamstring injury, but has played the last two games for San Francisco, or the last game against the Ravens, excuse me. These players practicing in full. It's good news that the Niners open up the practice window for Danny Gray, and now he's a full participant. So he's not limited at all. Also Elijah Mitchell, knee. That's probably why Jeremy McNichols was also let go. And then quarterback Brock Purdy, left shoulder injury, suffered a stinger in back-to-back weeks. Not his throwing arm, it's his left shoulder. Came down on that. That's why he came out of the game and Sam Darnold came in. And a stinger in back-to-back weeks for the Niners starting quarterback. But the good news is he said that he's going to play against Washington. The Niners, the line. Let's focus in on the betting line here. 13.5-point favorites on the road against the Commanders. For me, I think that's a little bit too big of a number. Why? The Niners are suffering from a lot of injuries at some really critical spots, and this is an early Eastern window where for San Francisco, 10 a.m. start time for the West Coast, 1 p.m. start time in the afternoon on the East Coast. The good news is with all of these injuries here is that Trent Williams avoided a large scare, a major scare with that groin. He said that he wanted to go back in against the Ravens. The medical staff held him out because San Francisco was down by so much. The 49ers, though, are still thin along the offensive line. Jalen Moore concussion, Aaron Banks, and the Niners' offensive line was getting beat up by the Ravens, the team that has the most sacks in the NFL. It was a physical game against Baltimore. We knew it was going to be a physical game against the Ravens because that is literally their identity, and the Niners right now kind of paying the price. As for Jair Brown, I said a little bit earlier, we'd touch on him more at the end of the show. Suffered a knee sprain against the Ravens. That's most likely going to keep him out. Everything that I'm hearing is that Jair Brown is not going to play against the Commanders. Kyle Shanahan even said that there is concern there with that knee sprain. As for what happens without him, because San Francisco is also very thin at safety. Talanoa Hufanga, torn ACL, out for the year. George Odom, biceps, also out for the year. Logan Ryan was the player getting the most snaps at practice on Thursday. The long-term veteran will most likely get the start if Jair Brown cannot play. And then Isaiah Oliver, awful in the slot, hopefully better at that safety spot because he lacks that speed as a cornerback, is also getting some snaps at safety. He is a depth option there as well. If you want to contact me, interact with me, I love getting emails from everybody. I've gotten a lot in recent weeks. Hit me up, chase@chatsports.com. I'm also on X. I'm on Instagram at Chase_Senior. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report so that you can stay in the know and on top of everything that happens with this squad. Let's clap it up for everybody. A lot of super chats coming in. Let's go. We start off with Niner Faithful Fantasy. I still believe we came out with the win considering there were no major injuries. If it was any game that would have happened, it would have been this game with how tough that Ravens defense was playing. I agree, yeah. Look, that Ravens team is extremely, extremely physical. So no major injuries with the Niners, obviously, as we just talked about throughout that entire segment. Definitely a little bit banged up. But it's good that they're going up against the Commanders, because if there's a team that you want to face when you are ailing a little bit as far as health, it's a bad team like that with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. They are good at defensive tackle, though, so that's a concern for the Niners being thin and banged up along that offensive line. Black Mask, San Francisco, $100 super chat. Sorry, gang, I didn't send a pick on Monday night. Wishing you all a late Merry Christmas and Happy 2024. Was a tough game, but we still showed up. The safety was a good start. Have faith all. We are the number 1 seed and control our destiny. Sent a pick from Monday on Instagram. My man Black Mask also in the running for our Niners surfboard. The number to beat. $100 super chat from Black Mask. Doing the most. Longtime viewer of the show sent this in. And anybody who sends in a super chat, $10 or more, we're putting your name on here, by the way. As for Black Mask's photo, let's show y'all that. Here he is. Christmas night, throwing up the deuces, corner end zone with the Niners turnover chain. I saw a lot of people at the game rocking the turnover chain. Swag. Roberto Davis, Washington Commies. Very appropriate these days. Yes, it is. Not far from the swamp in Landover, Maryland. And you're right. F the commies always. All right. I don't have my Sharpie right now, but we'll put all of those names. Yeah, you want to go get yours real quick? All the super chats coming in $10 or more. We're putting your name on the back of this. Let's go to Big Bo. Collins out there. And he can play. Why not bring him in? Yeah, like Lyle Collins is probably better than some of the guard options that San Francisco has right now. To me, though, Big Bo, there's something there with the medical. When he hurt his knee last year, he really shredded that knee, and he got extremely fortunate that it wasn't even worse. But there were multiple tears within that knee. He has had some workouts with some teams, and teams haven't signed him. So that tells me that maybe he's not back up to where he should be, and they're a little bit wary of that knee injury. But is he better than some of the backup guard options on this team? Is he better than Spencer Burford? He has been in his career. He's also been in the league a long time, and maybe age is catching up to him just a little bit. Trace went out to get that Sharpie. He'll come back, and we'll put those names here. Right now, $10 or more, your name's going on here. We have Niner Faithful Fantasy, Black Mask, and Jeannie Wyatt, whose super chat we're about to get to, all going on this Niner surfboard. Thank you for that there, Triz. Niner Faithful Fantasy. We got EC right here. Do the Niners still have an opportunity to win Super Bowl 58? Yeah, you know what's crazy? That loss against the Ravens, I mentioned here on the show earlier this week, I wasn't overly concerned about it, nor the odds makers. They lost by 2 touchdowns. They turned it over 5 times. They're still the betting favorites to win the Super Bowl. So Niner Faithful Fantasy going on the surfboard. And Black Mask going on the Doing the Most surfboard. As well as Jeannie Wyatt. Jeannie, it's funny. This week I put together your care package of all of your Super Chat MVP and raffle items. You are getting a hell of a haul. Deebo Samuel autographed jersey, Kyle Juszczyk autographed jersey, and the Niners Christmas sweater that I was supposed to wear that we're giving you because that was our raffle item. I showed Trace it.
It's so nice,
It is
dude.
awesome. The material of it is like that athletic dry fit type of material. So I hope you enjoy it. It's sick.
I'm not going to lie. We thought about ordering an extra one for you, and we got to keep that one.
No doubt. No doubt. I wish I could keep it. It's a really nice one. So that care package is coming your way. Who the hell knows when you'll get it. because mail carrier services are so backed up right now. All right, we want to hear from you. Third segment, we're going to take some of your questions. Obviously, anytime somebody sends in a super chat, we get those on the show right away. So use hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. We can show them the super chat menu here because we want as many names on this Niners surfboard as possible. And this is our super chat MVP item for our Thursday show. And we don't always do MVP items during the week, but $10 gets you on here. And then we're going to give this to the largest donator of the show. 3 names on it so far on the Doing the Most surfboard from Cabo. Niner Faithful Fantasy, Black Mask, and Jeannie Wyatt. If you want to get on here, $10. But during this next segment, if you send in a $5 super chat, we're putting your name on there. This will run for about 10 to 15 minutes. So $5 super chat, we're getting you on that surfboard. Segment number 2 coming up, Niners playoff picture. Let's do it. Coming your way on today's San Francisco 49ers report, the NFC playoff picture. A little bit more interesting after the Christmas night loss for San Francisco against the Baltimore Ravens. So, the question of today's show, are the Niners in danger of losing home field advantage in the NFC? We're going to talk about that, but first, today's show is sponsored by Manscaped. Yeah, Christmas, Hanukkah, they're in the rear view. But as we look forward to 2024, start your new year off right and take care of yourself. I'm always about wellness, and I'm about looking good and feeling good and just taking care of your health and your hygiene. You can do that with Manscaped, the best men's grooming products. You know what's funny, though? I've had some wives of some people who work here at Chat Sports tell me that they love the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, so the ladies can use them as well. 20% off, manscaped.com/49ers, promo code 49ers. So after the Niners lost to the Baltimore Ravens, their record drops to 11-4. That's the bad news. The good news is that San Francisco, if they want home field advantage, they still control their own destiny, and they're still sitting in a pretty good position. Number 1 seed in the NFC still. They won the NFC West. They've already clinched their playoff spot. So too have the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, and the Dallas Cowboys. Outside of that, you have 3 playoff spots up for grabs. Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing excellent football over the last month. Baker Mayfield has been gripping it and ripping it. I'm telling you, he's played really, really good football. And the Bucs leading the NFC South. You have the Rams, who have won 5 of 6. And we'll talk about the Rams in depth coming up at the back end of the show. Should the Niners be concerned about Sean McVay and the Rams? More on that in a moment. They're at 8-7, the current 6 seed right now. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks, back-to-back wins over Philadelphia at home, against the Titans on the road at 8-7 as well. There are other teams in the hunt: Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, and the New Orleans Saints, all at 7-8. The Bears still mathematically in it at 6-9. Nice, but I don't think Chicago is a realistic threat to get into the dance. The Niners, all they have to do is take care of business. And if they do, they'll most likely get that number 1 seed and home field advantage in the NFC, because San Francisco can clinch the number 1 seed if they just win their final 2 games against the Commanders and against the Los Angeles Rams. But with the Niners being a little bit banged up, short week, cross-country travel, early game against the Commanders, this game becomes at least a little bit tough, right? And then week 18, the Rams are going to be playing for their playoff lives. And at that point, does San Francisco rest players to get ready for the playoffs, or do they shoot for that number 1 seed? And the Rams, they want to exact revenge because Kyle Shanahan has owned Sean McVay, as we know, and it's a really, really good rivalry in the NFC West. The 49ers, though, have the head-to-head tiebreaker against Dallas and Philadelphia. They also have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Detroit Lions, who will play against the Cowboys on the road on Saturday. I might go to that game to do some scouting and to watch, because San Francisco could end up playing either Dallas or Detroit. San Francisco has the tiebreaker over the Lions because they have the better conference record than Detroit. So all San Francisco has to do, their job is a little bit more difficult because they did not take care of business against the Ravens. And they have to win out to ensure that they get home field advantage. But if they do that, 2 winnable games for sure, teams are going to have to go through Levi's Stadium if they want to make it to Super Bowl 58. And obviously, home games, a lot easier than having to go on the road in a hostile environment. If you think the Niners will get the number 1 seed, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If not, I want you to comment why right now. Here on the 49ers Report, we care about you, and we want you to step into 2024 with confidence, and you can do so with Manscaped and their Performance Package 5.0. And they're running a great deal right now. You can get all of these products for $112 if you go to manscaped.com/49ers, but make sure you use the code 49ers to get 20% off, and so that Manscaped knows that Chat Sports sent you. Step into the new year with confidence thanks to Manscaped, where resolutions are met. Their Performance Package 5.0 is here, and let me tell you, it is awesome. It includes the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer. If you have a bunch of nose hairs and it's looking like a forest in your nostrils, you got to take care of that. You also don't want hairy balls. Maybe some of you do, but that's weird energy. You get the Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion, the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant. That's big for a guy like me who likes to run a lot, because if your balls are chafing on your leg, it doesn't feel good. You also get 2 free gifts. What, Chase? Free gifts? I love free gifts. The 5th generation lawnmower features 2 interchangeable blades, but those 2 free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. When I do my traveling, I do it with the toiletry travel bag. So get started. The Performance Package, $112, limited time only, 20% off, manscaped.com/49ers. Let's now talk about the Los Angeles Rams. Have the Rams become a concern for San Francisco in Week 18, but also in the NFL playoffs? The Rams started the season 3-6. The Rams have now gone 5-1 in their last 6 games. They're playing complimentary football, and they're playing impressive football. You look at the last 6 matchups for Los Angeles. Started with the 17-16 win over the Seahawks, and they swept the season series with Seattle after beating them in Week 1 as well. Then they won on the road 37-14 against the Cardinals. They beat the Browns, who the Niners lost to very handily, 36-19. And then another team who the Niners lost to, the Ravens. The Rams went blow for blow, with the Ravens, and lost in overtime 37-31 in a thrilling matchup. So 2 teams that the Niners have lost to who have posed a lot of issues for San Francisco, Cleveland, Baltimore. The Rams were able to beat Cleveland, and they could have beaten the Ravens if not for that Tylan Wallace punt return for a touchdown in overtime. They continue their winning ways against the Commanders, 28-20. They beat the Saints last Thursday, sorry Trizzy, 30-22, and then they have to go on the road cross-country travel against a Giants team which gave the Eagles some trouble, and then they round out the regular season on the 7th of January against the 49ers. So we'll see what happens against the Giants, but this is a month-and-a-half sample size here of the Rams playing quality ball. And what I like about the Rams is that offensively, Matthew Stafford has been able to elevate his teammates, and they have a lot of really nice weapons. We know about Cooper Kupp, but Puka Nacua, the rookie, is having a record-breaking season. And despite missing a few games, Kyren Williams, their running back out of Notre Dame, is second in the NFL in rushing yards. And in years previous, the Rams have really struggled to run the football. They've been a one-dimensional team. This year, that is not an issue. So they're running it well and they're throwing it well. They have a very young defense with a lot of draftees, but that defense is playing well. And then with that offense, against the New Orleans Saints, they ran pre-snap motion on about 98, 99% of their plays. So they run pre-snap motion out of the wazoo. That is obviously a McVay, Shanahan, Mike McDaniel specialty as part of their offense, but it confuses defenses. So this Rams team, look out. It is not a team that the Niners can take lightly. I want you to be honest with me down below in the comment section. Treat it like a Sports Talk Radio call-in line, but here on YouTube, you get it popping in the comments. Do the Rams concern you? C for concerned, FLA for no. Wow, a couple of more Super Chats to get to. You love to see it, and more names that we're going to add to our surfboard here. We get started with Nick Dolfer, Niners for life. We will shake last week's loss and take it to the house with Washington this weekend. Nick, I love the confidence right there. JB, a $50 Super Chat, also said this. Keep it up, fellas. Love y'all from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Shout out the Hogs, baby.
Woo Pig.
Woo Pig, JB.
Woo Pig.
I know some people out in Jonesboro. Jonesboro's a small town, Chase. Very, very small town, so the faithful probably pretty loud out there.
You know, I've heard that Fayetteville is one of the best cities to live in America.
So, fun fact, it's in the Forbes top 10 places to live every single year. It's top 5 every year.
Wow.
And it's the number 1 place in SEC, ACC, or Big 12 country to live in. It's really the number 1 college town to live in. It's affordable.
So college town.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go
affordable,
ahead.
really, really nice out there. Like a lot of beautiful scenery, mountains, good food.
Yeah, it's very clean, right?
Clean.
Not a lot of crime.
Yes. Not a ton of crime out there, which is
very
nice.
cool. So you come here for football talk, but we could talk some real estate as well.
Yeah.
Black Mask, $10 Super Chat. Just me, but I do not want to be playing against a division rival in the playoffs. If we beat the Rams, it will A, clinch the number 1 seed given we beat the what the F team, and B, kick the Rams out maybe. See, here's the thing, Black Mask. I don't think the Rams are going to get ousted because the other teams that are in the mix, I don't see them overtaking Los Angeles. And if the Rams get that 9th win, I think they're going to be a wild card team. Wow, Fayetteville, named one of the top 5 best places to live in America. And did I do this right? Woo Pig?
Woo Pig.
Woo Pig. Do you have to lift the nose up or you just touch it? Do you got to go piggy nose?
You gotta go full oinker out.
You want to look inside my nostrils? How's everything looking up there?
Gotta whip out the oinker.
It looks good with Manscaped. All right, let's add a couple names to this surfboard here. Nick Dolfer, $20. All right, Nick, I see you, cuz. Nick Dolfer. That's a real one right there. We have JB.
David Marcellus says, y'all should be very concerned.
And then Black Mask again. $10. It gets you on here. I'm surprised nobody spent the $5 to get on here. We'll continue to run that deal. $5, you get to sign the Niners surfboard, which right now is going to Black Mask because he sent in the $100 Super Chat. Surfboard from Cabos. Thanks to our guy doing the most.
Black Mask, is there somebody you want us to put on for you since you sent in a 10?
Yeah, let us know. Black Mask, best place to live is in Thailand.
Nice.
Nick Dolfer said, I surf. I belong on the surfboard. My brother, you were on there. I've surfed in California. I've surfed in Australia.
I've only surfed in Hawaii.
You've surfed. Pretty good place
cool,
to surf.
Yeah. Australia seems like a pretty dope place to surf
cool.
too.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that you feel so innocent and fearless as a kid. If I got out there nowadays, I might get anxiety about a shark or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Call me a pussy, but I don't know.
X Music. He's a
Fayetteville's about 1.5 away from me. It's a nice area. Nice X Music.
Shout out Arkansas. Shout out Drake Greenlaw.
Shout out Trey Greenlaw. Woo Pig as well. All right, to round out the show, we have a Brock Purdy injury update. Purdy talking about what went wrong against the Ravens. A crazy Niners stat that you got to stay tuned for. And then we're going to take your questions. All right, Black Mask. Add Matthew Da Silva, my son. Say less.
Everyone type MDS to show some love to Matthew Da Silva.
Have you
Poor
taken
guy.
your son to Thailand to hang out with those Thailand babes that you sent a picture of us? What? Tom Daly sent the
Playboys. That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob, Nick, Daywalker, King's Family Gaming, all showing love to Black Mass's kid. He says he plans on taking him.
6 names on here. Very cool. He said, I plan to. Nice. Matthew Da Silva, is that why people are typing MDS? Love it, love it. All right, segment number 3 coming your way right now. Let's get it. Another loaded show coming your way on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Here's what we're getting into. Brock Purdy injury update. Purdy talking about what went wrong against the Baltimore Ravens during that Christmas massacre. And we have a crazy Niners stat that we're going to unveil, so stay tuned for that. And then on the back end, we're taking questions from some of our loyal subscribers. Let's begin with the latest around Brock Purdy's injury. He did say on Thursday that he's going to play against the Washington Commanders despite suffering stingers in his non-throwing shoulder in back-to-back weeks against Arizona and against Baltimore. That's why he was held out of that game at the end of it against the Ravens, and that's why Sam Darnold came in. Here's Purdy on explaining the injury and what happened. He said it's been good, got a lot of treatment done on it, worked out the soreness in the whole shoulder and trap area, but it feels good. I'll be good for this game. Nobody said anything to me, didn't know until I got it against the Ravens again. I guess the nerve is more susceptible to stinging again, but with treatment, time, and recovery, I'll be good to go. Everyone is different. I was fine the entire game. Then that one sack, I landed on it, just right for it to go off, but the feeling came back, and it's part of the game. It's definitely part of the game, and hopefully Purdy continues to get that treatment all throughout the week. I'll tell you this, I got my first ever full-body 90-minute massage this week. It is life-changing, and hopefully Purdy is feeling as good as I am after that massage with that stinger, and hopefully this isn't something to be serious and to get back on track here that doesn't really affect him moving forward. Because if he gets sacked again and lands on that non-throwing shoulder and it flares up again with the playoffs quickly on the horizon, then yeah, there are reasons to be a little bit concerned. As for what went wrong against the Ravens, against the number 1 defense, giving up the fewest points in the National Football League, with the most sacks in the league as well, Purdy threw a career high 4 interceptions. And earlier this week, we did a lot of breakdowns on the show about what exactly happened with the picks. I think one of them was an awful throw. The other 3 were really fluky plays. And in fact, I like the honesty. And I like what Brock Purdy had to say about throwing some of those turnovers. He said, toward the end, I was searching for those big plays to get back into the game rather than playing the position. I feel our game plan was good, what we wanted to get done. It was the execution part where I didn't do a good enough job. I read that quote and I'm like, yeah, people lose sight of the fact that Brock Purdy is in year 2. He's 16-4 as a starter in the regular season. He's still an inexperienced player. So he can learn from this, and all quarterbacks have bad games, ladies and gentlemen. He continued by saying, toward the end, he made those mistakes, and then he said, our mindset was good. If we want to go to that next quote, I fell short in terms of making it happen. Watching film, there were plays to be made. We felt good. We were right there, and we had things dialed up. I just didn't execute well. If we see them down the road, we'd be excited to play them, but we're taking it one day at a time. For me, it's a great learning experience and not buying into what's going on around me and what's being said. It's about being in the moment, make the right decisions, protect the ball, not to say I'll be perfect moving forward. It's football. You're not perfect. Lastly, people can say things and you can buy into the narrative. You need to have that chip on your shoulder, put your head down, go to work, show teammates week in and week out that you're that guy. Everything that Brock Purdy said there is what you want to hear from a quarterback. I messed up. I'm taking accountability. I can learn from this. Going back and watching the film, I know what to change. He admitted to forcing the issue a little bit, which I thought was a little bit surprising because for the first time in a long time, you saw Brock Purdy pressing a little bit. But despite the loss, why I'm not really hitting the panic button with Purdy or this Niners team. The one thing I am concerned about playing from behind and then adding another thing to that if I can is that the Ravens played a lot of zone defense. So that kind of neutralizes what Shanahan likes to do with running a lot of the pre-snap motion. But still, against the number one defense in the NFL, Brock made some excellent throws, tight windows, layering footballs in there, touch, accuracy, anticipation. The Niners had explosive plays. And I put out a video earlier this week that took off on social media with like 500,000 views where I said, this is why I'm not panicking. The Niners had more yards per play, more passing yards, more rushing yards. And people were ripping me saying, the Niners got their asses kicked. To me, that's casual talk. That's just looking at the box score, looking at the scoreboard, and not understanding what actually happened. I thought the Niners played well in stretches of the game, but when you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to beat anybody. And people were saying, all those yards came in garbage time. False. The Niners were on pace for 500 yards at halftime. It was a close game at halftime. If Brock Purdy doesn't throw that red zone interception on the first drive and they take that early lead, are things different? I think so. In the third quarter, Baltimore went on a 17-0 run and things unraveled. Why? Because of turnovers. And the defense, Chase, they gave up 7 straight scoring drives. They stink. When you're playing against Lamar Jackson and an explosive offense that has diversity to it, that can run it and throw it, and they're taking over around midfield, your defense is put in an impossible position. And the Ravens were gift-wrapped opportunities to put points on the scoreboard. So I'm not hitting the panic button. Furthermore, from what I said earlier this week, because of these reasons as well. As for that crazy Niners stat, preach. The Niners have a chance this year at a 4,000-yard quarterback in Brock Purdy, a 1,000-yard running back in Christian McCaffrey. He's already over that number. A 1,000-yard wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle is 9 yards away from 1,000 yards receiving at tight end. And Deebo Samuel, some work to be cut out for him, needs 164 yards to be a 1,000-yard receiver as well to join Brandon Ayuk. The last team to do this was the 2004 Indianapolis Colts. And Peyton Manning actually won MVP that year. That's the historical significance of what this Niners team has been able to do. If you're still confident in the Niners, show us and let your voices be heard by hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video. Your questions on the other side, but first, 49ers Report today is sponsored by Prize Picks. $100 deposit match with the best DFS app, Daily Fantasy Sports that is, and the largest independently run Daily Fantasy Sports app. Here's how the game works. You pick 2 or more players and you choose more or less on their projected stat lines. For instance, these are the selections that I liked for Thursday Night Football. Joe Flacco's been a great story, more than 199.5 passing yards. Myles Garrett, chasing Defensive Player of the Year, more than 0.75 sacks. Trevor Siemian, more than 0.5 interceptions. $5 to win $40 right there. So the payouts are awesome, and you can win real money. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS, Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. Let's get to your questions and your super chats. Lore, how can we attack the Commanders' defense? The Commanders aren't good in the secondary, and I don't think the Commanders are all that good at the safety spot. The concern here, Lore, is at defensive tackle, because the Commanders are really good at defensive tackle. Daron Payne is a hell of a player. So the talent there with Washington combined with Aaron Banks being banged up and the issues that the Niners have along this offensive line, those are concerns. Lyle, good to hear from you once again. $10 super chat. We're putting you on the Niners surfboard right here. Hey, Chase, hate to say it, but I'm getting worried that the Niners Super Bowl window is coming to an end soon. What do you think with some free agency and contracts? You know, it's interesting that you say that, Lyle, and I understand why you feel that way, but let me tell you why you shouldn't be all that concerned. This is an organization that has drafted really well since 2017, and they are very fiscally responsible and creative with managing the cap and being able to give out some of these large contracts while still rounding out the roster with a lot of depth. This Niners team is one of the most talented in the NFL, and they're paying a lot of money to a lot of premium players. And you think about the contract extensions that they've given out over recent time. George Kittle, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa. Like, those are big contracts that they've given out. But you look at Brandon Ayuk. He's 25 years old. Arik Armstead's 30. Aaron Banks is 26. Nick Bosa's 26. Jair Brown is 23. Spencer Burford's 23. You look further down. Dre Greenlaw's 26. Javon Hargrave's 30. Jawan Jennings, 26. Kyle Juszczyk, 32. Older side. George Kittle, 30, but tight ends can play for a while. Deommodore Lenoir, 24. Jarrell Luter Jr., 23. Christian McCaffrey, 27. Jake Moody, 24. You know, some of the marquee players on this team. Deebo Samuel, 27. Mooney Ward, 27. Fred Warner, 27. Trent Williams, concern, 35. You got to start to invest in that offensive line. Chase Young, if they bring him back, he's 24. So this team is actually somewhat young with players still in their prime. So I'm not overly concerned about the Super Bowl window ending very soon, but I will say this. They do have to capitalize soon because you're playing deep into the season now with 3 NFC Championship games over the last 4 years, and you hope you're making it to the Super Bowl this year. That's a lot of football over the last 5 years, and that does wear on you. And what does the NFL stand for? Not for long. Things can change in a blink. Black Mask, $10 super chat. Just me, but I do not want to be playing against a division rival in the playoffs. If we beat the Rams, it will A, clinch the number 1 seed given we beat the WTF team. That's the Commanders. Love the creativity right there. And B, kick out the Rams maybe. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture if we can, because I don't think the Rams are going to miss out on the playoffs. They're sitting pretty right now in that 6th spot. Now, San Francisco wouldn't have to play them until deep into the playoffs potentially, but you're right, Black Mask. Having to face a team like Los Angeles, which has won 5 of 6, 3 times in a season, is a difficult task, and you might have to do the same thing with the Seattle Seahawks, but the Niners did that last year with Seattle. And what happened? I mean, they beat the brakes off of them in the wild card round. The Rams are the team that I'm concerned about, but I don't think that a Minnesota and Atlanta, Green Bay, New Orleans, they're going to make a bunch of headway to oust the Rams. They have the Giants and the Niners to round out the regular season. Black Mask, $10 super chat. Thank you for that. EC, do the 49ers still have an opportunity to win Super Bowl 58? Yes, they do. You know, I just went through the roster with some of the marquee players. This team is loaded. And despite their loss against the Ravens, I mentioned why I'm not overly concerned. The odds makers aren't overly concerned, EC. They still have the Niners as the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl. Big Bo, next up. Lyle Collins is out there, and he can play. Why not bring him in? It is interesting that no team has signed Lyle Collins, but to me, has to be a red medical flag, where he suffered that torn knee last year after signing with the Bengals and was struggling before the knee injury. And he's had some workouts with some teams, and nobody has added him. He's obviously clearly not recovered, or maybe he's just not going to be the same player. But as a backup, there are worse options out there for sure. Niner Faithful Fantasy, $10 super chat. Who is the best wide receiver on the Niners between Deebo and Ayuk? I prefer Deebo because there is something different about him at wide receiver and across the league. Debo, I'm going to the Rams game. Have fun at that Rams game. That's going to be a blast at Levi's Stadium. I think that Brandon Ayuk is the better wide receiver than Debo. But I do think that Debo is one of the most unique weapons across the entire National Football League. While I think that Ayuk is a little bit better route runner, he's not as much of a gadget guy. He's not as great at picking up yards after contact or after the catch as Debo, but he's still really good in that area. He's a really good blocker downfield. I like the catch radius. I like the hands. I think he's a better deep threat than Debo. I think you have to scheme up Debo a little bit more because Ayuk has great footwork as a route runner and his route tree is a little bit more diverse. So if we're talking about wide receiver, I think Ayuk is the better pure wide receiver. Who's the better overall player and weapon? You might go with Debo. Matt Keller, another real one. Thank you for your service, my brother. Seems like the offense wasn't operating like they usually do. Something seemed off. Well, here's what happens when you turn the football over 5 times, 2 of them coming in the red zone, a couple of them coming around midfield. They moved the football. They were on pace for 500 yards at halftime against the number 1 defense in the NFL. More yards per play, more passing yards, more rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey had more than 100 rushing yards against the number 1 defense. And then you had Ayuk and you had Kittle at more than 100 receiving yards. Don't tell me that all those yards came in garbage time when they didn't. The Niners had about 250 yards at halftime. But when you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win any games. When you lose a turnover battle in general, you lose between 70 and 80% of the games at the NFL level. When you're -5, everything else becomes impossible, especially against a team like that. How about them Niners? Nothing to do with this season. Do you think that Frank Gore being on the staff as an advisor might lead to the Niners drafting Frank Gore Jr. this year? You know Frank will lobby for it. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they drafted Frank Gore Jr. or if he didn't get drafted, they ended up bringing him in to be a part of this team. You know, they might look to move on from Elijah Mitchell because he's way too brittle. So at that point, you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Jordan Mason as your 2 backs. I don't think they have a lot of trust in Ty Davis-Price, but he'll be under contract. You want some competition? You want an RB3? You want an RB4? It'd be a cool story for sure, but they're not just going to take him just because of the Frank Gore connection. They're going to take him if they think that he's a good player. Comment real one if you made it this far on the show. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, and make sure you subscribe for daily shows on the Niners. All right, 3 segments in the can. Lyle going on the surfboard here. Glad to add your name to this. One of our Super Chat goats. $10. You get on the surfboard, the number to beat, $100. We're going to put 2 minutes on the Super Chat shot clock. If you want to send in a super to the show, do so within 2 minutes because we're hopping out of here soon. $10, your name goes on the surfboard. Number to beat, 100. Al is a real one. Kovev, Rob Smith, Jeannie Wyatt, JJ, Mike Concho, Corona Guy. How about them Niners? Bob Smith, Daywalker, Lyle, Lore, Ken, Oliver Leach. Type in real one. It's funny, Timothy Smith, who's a Cowboys fan, I'm sorry that you're a Cowboys fan, and Ravens fans have been sliding in the comment section on my social media pages saying, Brock Purdy got benched. Dude suffered a stinger for the 2nd straight week. He didn't get benched. How you throw 4 picks and get benched? I wish Dak Prescott would play against that Ravens team. I wonder what would happen. What's happened to the Cowboys the last 2 games, by the way, in December? I'm just curious. Oh, yeah, that's right. They got dominated by Buffalo and then choked against the Dolphins. That's right. I was trying to figure out what happened. Al, Chase, I have a question. Al, get it into the comments and I'll answer it. Get it into the comments section. I'll answer it there, Al. 122 on the Super Chat shot clock if you want to extend the show. Get those supers in. Lord, Chase, looks like the weather on Sunday is going to be 48 degrees. That's pretty good for Maryland this time of year on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, not a lot of people I feel like are trying to vacation to Maryland in December.
A lot of gray skies that time of year.
Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal.
Rob Smith got a rep. Always rep, Rob.
So are we going to have to get out of here? Because I don't really want to.
Yeah, I mean, we're down to hang out, but nobody's sending a super chat to keep us going. And nobody else is getting on the surfboard.
It's Thirsty Thursday. I bet we could get Chip in here. I wonder if he's still here. Yeah, he's still here. I bet we could get
Do you think
Chip in
Aaron
here to
Rodgers
drink.
is faking injured Bob Smith? No, dude. Guy tore his Achilles in September, man.
That's my favorite thing that's going around right now, that he faked his Achilles tear. I'm like, that's unbelievable.
Al says, do you think that the Commanders will have a real chance with getting to Brock? If so, who? Yeah, they have a real chance because they're good at defensive tackle, and the Niners aren't all that good on the interior offensive line.
Did you see Timothy? He got benched. They didn't want him to throw any more picks.
All right, Tim. Have fun rooting on the Cowboys, dude. Are we more concerned about Javon Jennings, that it's more than just a concussion from Ryan? No. But look, not everybody passes concussion protocol that quickly. You know, sometimes concussions linger, and it happens all the time. All right, we're about to sign off. Al,
Not
sorry,
ideal.
I don't know. Al, you asked the question. I got you with the answer, my brother. That's why we're here. And that's why we keep an eye on the comment section always, to hear from people like you. All right, thanks everybody who tuned in. Black Mask, we're going to send you this Niner surfboard here. Oh! Black Mask, F you guys. I haven't been on here for a while, so drink something. All right, I'll go shotgun a beer. Oh, I have it right here, actually. I have a beer right here. No. I got my Black Mask pocket knife.
Can I get everyone to type chug in the chat? Shout out Black Mask for keeping us live.
Everybody type BM.
BM. We love a good old BM. My mom always said a good BM a day is good for you.
Cheers to Black Mask.
Chug.
Now we are at $257 in Super Chat.
300.
300. Trace, what are you doing if we get to 300?
I'm going to do a beer bong.
A beer bong for 300. Somebody other than Black Mask.
Beer bong.
We're only 43 away. Genie, chug, chug, chug.
Chug.
Genie,
chug,
you're getting
chug.
one of the most impressive packages that we've ever sent out on the show. Signed Juice jersey, signed Debo jersey, and a Christmas sweater. And I gave you a letter saying thank you.
Genie's got the juice. Genie's got the juice. He ripped it. He dipped it. And now he's sipping it. Look at it go. Look at it go down. So easy. So fast. Chug, 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 chug.
The
chug.
Black Mask chug. $500 super chat. Trey said he'll do a butt chug.
Come on. I'm down.
That was a joke, but then Trey said he's down.
Let's do it. One of y'all won't do it.
43 away from 300. And Trace, shout out Barefoot,
Ow!
is doing a beer bomb. Barefoot. Yo, I'm off to Taiwan January 6th. What's the playoff schedule?
No way. How long are you in Taiwan for?
So the final regular season day is the 7th.
Nick
Dofer! Nick.
It's that big Nick energy.
He gave the comment section that big Nick energy, and the big D stands for Dofer. Trace, he's doing his beer bong. Bob Smith, what is a butt chug? It's when you drink beer into your butthole. At least that's what I've been told. I've never done it. Can anybody confirm? Because I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure. Jeannie Wyatt! $50 super chat. Chug, chug, chug for me. Thank you both. Bang! Bang! Niner gang! Genie Wyatt. Genie Wyatt. Rob Smith says chug. Trace is going to chug. Another 50, I'll shotgun another beer. 2 shotguns in 3 minutes. That'll have me feeling a little bit wobbly. But I'll do it if we get another 50, which will get us to 400. 10 from Lyle! We'll pop those super chats up as soon as Trace gets in here. Another 50, another shotty for me. Genie Wyatt sending a 50, Lyle with the 10. We're up to 361. Let's go for 400. David Marcel, are you still sick? I'm not. I feel fine, but I have like this cough and my voice isn't the same. So I guess I'm dealing with like the after effects of it. I'm telling you, I had something that I've never had before. I don't know what the hell it was. May have been the vid. A new vid. May have been the new vid. The new vid. I was coughing up mucus. The color of AG1. And it was like hard. Sorry, but y'all asked.
You have hard mucus?
It was bad. I've just never experienced anything like that. Mike Concho, Chase Esmano. I had that as a teen because I was getting with all the shorties. Black Mass with another 5. We'll pop up these supers. We're 40 again. We're 44 away. Or no, 34 away. 34 away from 400. If we get to 400, I will shotgun another beer. It doesn't take the 50. If we get to 400, I'm doing another one. Rob Smith, my daughter asked me the same. Gina, I only know how to live life as an honest man. JJ, what beer are y'all drinking? I did a Happy Dad, and then did you have a Happy Dad as well? Happy Dad as well. They've got electrolytes. Not a sponsor, but they should be.
Does anyone in the chat, by any chance, have a personal connection to either one of the following? Does anyone in the live chat have a personal connection to either A, Sydney Sweeney, or B, the Nelk Boys, so we can get a Happy Dad sponsorship? Yes. If you have a personal connection to either one, let me know.
Any alcohol company out there, we will drink on air for you. Nick Dolfer, chug, chug, chug. We're not missing any names
I love
on
it.
Here, right?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Did you get Genie?
Up. I got Genie.
Heck yeah. Here's our
Genie
Super
Wyatt
Chat.
thinking about going to the Super Bowl. I hope that I'm there covering it.
That would be sick.
Bingus is very negative. Says that the Niners are done. JJ never drank any of those Happy Dads. Don't know if I've ever seen them in Kentucky. They should have them. But is it weird? Like, it always depends on the alcohol laws for that specific state.
Yeah.
But is this one of the things you have to get at the liquor store?
No, you can get those at a gas station or at like a Walmart.
Because there's not liquor in them?
Yeah. You can go to a grocery store and get one of those, or like a gas station.
David Marcella, take a bong hit, not a beer bong. All right, we'll go to Trizzy's house after this.
Bet.
Black Mask. Niners versus the world. Oh, Genie, if you're there, we're linking up, and we're getting a picture.
Oh, that would be the picture that would break the internet.
No doubt. Don't know if the Cowboys can beat the Lions. I'm thinking about going to that game on Saturday. I actually really want to go. I want to do some scouting.
Do you know how much tickets are going for right now?
100, 150 for standing room.
Bad?
Not bad.
It's not bad for a meaningful football game.
If anybody wants to send me a Venmo to help me do some scouting for the Niners, at Chase_Senior, I'll go to the game. I'll go to the Cowboys-Lions game. If you want to buy my ticket at Chase_Senior. Send me a Venmo.
If we get enough Venmos, maybe you'll buy both of us tickets.
Yeah?
That'd be sick.
You want to send a large Venmo, then Trizzy and I will both go to the game together. We'll take a picture. We'll put it on the show.
We'll wear Niners gear and everything.
And we'll scout the game. And we'll scout the game because the Lions or the Cowboys could be the opponent for the Niners at some point in the playoffs. At Chase_Senior, that's the Venmo. If you want to buy us tickets to the game.
Gina, says Trizzy and Chase.
Corona guy, don't have Happy Dads in Cali. That's a state I don't always agree with.
Yeah, especially with not having Happy Dads.
Black Mask. He paid $450 for his ticket on Christmas. Wow. 34 away from another shotgun. There's 5 from Lyle. Oh, we got to show those super chats. Trace wasn't in the studio when he sent that Lyle.
There's your 5.
So there's your 5. Here's your 10. If the Niners make it to the Super Bowl, who would you like to see them play? Ravens, Browns, Chiefs, Dolphins, or Bills? I think their defense matches up really, really well against Miami. Given how the Niners' offense played against the Ravens and Browns, that could be a very difficult matchup, but you'd be going up against Joe Flacco. I think this Chiefs team is bad. They have no weapons offensively. I know they have Patrick Mahomes, but exacting revenge on Mahomes would be fun. The Bills do have a really good defense, and Josh Allen is a problem. So if I'm power ranking those teams, Chiefs, Dolphins, actually,
Chiefs have no wide
Chiefs,
receivers.
Dolphins, Browns, Bills, Ravens. I think Lamar, he just causes so many problems. He really stresses your defense.
Oh, that's in the super chat.
Scooter,
Well, there you go.
what's up from Lodi 209? What's up with Trent Williams? Yeah, we talked about him a little bit earlier on the show. In case you weren't around for that, groin injury, limited participant in practice. So that goes to show you it's not a severe injury. So that's good news. Super chat menu here. 16 Bar King. We debuted his song last week on the show.
Nick Dolfer!
Nick Dolfer! Bang! Bang! Niner gang! 16 Bar King. Not all the time, but a little more than often. Vamp life, day drinking, in a cup. 16 Bar King. I love the bars, but Mike Honcho never wants to hear me sing. The Niners on that quest for 6. They're going for that bling. They'll play Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. They call it Sin City. If the Niners make it to the bowl, I hope Trizzy's rolling with me. How you like that, 16 Bar King?
Where are you going with that? I was like, where are you going with it?
How you like that, 16 Bar King?
Oh, that was tough.
Grade the bars, A, B, C, D, or F.
A++++.
Frank the Tank, can you even show the butt chug? No, probably not. And that was a joke, by the way. Honcho said word.
Unless.
So Honcho doesn't usually like when I sing, but those bars, I thought they were solid.
It was tough.
Al, I think I emailed you. All right, Al, let's see, man.
Nick Dolfer with the $33 super chat. Niners are going to the Super Bowl this year. 49ers for life. Enjoy the cocktail.
Let's see.
So it looks like we're going to be having some beverages here in a second.
I did not get an email from Al.
Should we see if Chip wants to come and do a beer bong?
I said I would do another one.
Oh, you're doing one.
Because I got the 400. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
Or we got the 400. There's no I in team. Bad job by me.
But there's an I in win.
Jeannie Wyatt. I'm getting some A's for the bars.
Anything outside of an A.
$20
wrong.
super chat. We'll make a rap for you right on the fly in honor of 16 Bar King.
Let's go. And you get on the surfboard.
And you get on the surfboard.
Surfboard. What's up, King Xavier?
All right, here we go. Another shotty.
Rip it. And then he's going to tip it. And then he's going to sip it.
Nick Dolfer and Black Mask, as well as Jeannie Wyatt.
Holding it down.
And, let's see, JB, our Super Chat MVPs for today. Cheers. Thanks, everybody. This is a fun Thursday show.
Chug, 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 chug. Nice. Nice. King Xavier says he wants to see me on Eagles sometime soon. It's always F Chip, King Xavier. It's always King or F Chip.
Black Mask, like the knife. This is the Black Mask, the Black Mask knife. Black Mask, you're the Super Chat VP because you're going to win this surfboard with the $100 Super Chat. And we'll send this to you.
Unless somebody wants to send 105 or 101.
Oh,
Nice
did
one,
you
Arik.
run today? Yes, I did, David. With this job, I have gone on drunk runs to continue my running streak, but I ran this morning.
We should call ourselves when we're doing the beer drinking. We call Big X the Chug.
I like that. Corona guy, you guys drink Happy Dad beer or seltzer? I only know the seltzer. They have beer?
No, they don't have a beer.
Yeah, it's only seltzer, Corona guy. Yep, I got the address, Black Mask. Got the address.
David Marcella, attaboy.
Oh, Marcella, I saw a health and wellness thing that made me think of you the other day. Since my mom passed away from cancer, I'm a very big natural holistic health and wellness type of person. Somebody, it was either on Instagram or Twitter, was talking about natural ways to alleviate what you have, which is MS, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Or is it something else? But I thought of you when I saw it. Let's see if I can. Man, I don't know if I bookmarked it.
Hey, Doing the Most is in the chat.
Doing the Most. He's in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes! We've been mentioning your name all throughout the show, Doing the Most. This is the Doing the Most surfboard. It's going to a real one, Black Mask. Nick Dolfer with that 33, and then 16 Bar King. Stripped down, got a streak caught attack. LT'd up, left the bag, brought a sack. Ooh, I like the LT reference there.
Left the bag, brought a
ALS.
sack.
Sorry,
ALS.
David Marcella.
Left a bag, brought a sack. You know Brock Purdy's going to get that rack.
Let's see if I save something.
They paid Deebo Samuel a big old stack.
Doing
Oh!
the $20 Super Chat. Enjoy that surfboard, fam. I picked that up in Cabo 2016.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Los Cabos.
Been holding on to that since 2016.
Los Cabos. And what we've done Doing the Most, anybody who's sent in a Super Chat, $10, gets on the surfboard. So we have to fittingly put your name on there now.
Do you think that there's somebody who lives in Cabo that watches the Niners report and is like, wait, I sold that. I sold that to a guy back in 2016.
Pretty awesome.
I wonder.
Let's see. Marcella, I'm still trying to track this down. If I saved it.
For those of you who are curious, we are $65 away, $66 away from $500, which is pretty outstanding if you ask me on a random Thursday in December. Also, are y'all going to be hanging out with us on New Year's Eve? Because last year's New Year's stream was reckless.
Against the Raiders.
It was reckless.
On New Year's Day. I can't find it right now, Marcella. If I find it, though, I'll send it to you.
Doing the Most wants us to sign the board
Doing
as well.
the Most! What'd you say?
He said he wants us to sign the board as well.
Oh, we are.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
always do.
Doing the most. He ain't doing the least. He's doing the most.
Doing the Most! We're at 434. We going to get to 500?
We should fuck around and get to 500. It's like that graph. The fuck around, find out. Let's see what happens.
Honcho said, on a Thursday.
Club going up on a Thursday. Got your girl at the club and she want me.
By the way, a lot of you who have watched our YouTube shorts, those are the minute videos that we've done. I made a purchase today, a little lavalier mic, because a lot of you have said, Chase, you need a lavalier mic. Doesn't sound good enough. So I bought it today. I'm going to see if it sounds good right after this.
Nice.
So hopefully it does.
Is it just plugged right to the phone?
Yeah, it plugs in on the charging port.
Nice.
And then it connects via Bluetooth. This little clip-on mic you can put right
cool.
here, or you can just like kind of use it as a little handheld.
I feel like we should get
fuck around,
group,
try
we
it
should
out.
get a group order of those going.
Yeah, I know. I bought this myself because I was kind of tired of us not getting one.
Yeah,
So
no kidding.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna take care of business real quick.
Just like the Niners are going to take care of business.
Hell yeah. Black Mask, boys want to party today. Hey man, it's fun. This job, I used to be on local news before this, right? And that's about as big J as it gets, and I hated it.
I was a college student before this.
I couldn't share opinions on anything. It's so regimented and old school and big J. And now I get to talk sports. I get to script my own shows every single week. Every day. I get to say whatever I want. Thanks to the bosses, Trizzy on his Saints show, me for Niners, everything I do, creative control. Creative control as a content creator or doing anything you do is one of the most powerful things and coolest things that you could do.
No doubt.
Are we getting to 500? We're at
feel like we have
434 right now.
We have to. We have to. It's 2 minutes until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-minute super chat shot clock. If not, it's honestly all good. But sometimes doing like shows like this where we can just chop it up and talk about anything, it's fun. Now, I will say with my last job, I did have my own podcast, and I could kind of venture into some sports, pop culture, food and cuisine. I do miss that type of stuff. That's why I love listening to Joe Rogan, because those conversations make me think. He's so curious. So sometimes when we're just doing this,
Wait, Chase.
we can do that.
Dude, we should like start a podcast, dude. Like,
Yeah, the Trizzy and Chase podcast,
the
the
Pocket
Pocket Aces
Aces
podcast. We both said that at the same time.
the podcast.
Under YouTube bylaws. What under YouTube bylaws? David Marcellus said write it off. What should we write off?
The mic as like a tax exemption.
Oh, no. Honestly, the bosses go above and beyond supporting us.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to hit up the bosses and say, I'm about to purchase this, can I put it on the company card? They would have said yes. But sometimes I feel as though I got to give back to the company. And I can use this at my crib and take it home with me because I bought it. So it's kind of the thought process there.
Yeah.
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 1:15 on the super clock.
Yeah.
Ask us anything for the next 45 seconds if we don't get a super chat. Jeannie Wyatt, this is the best channel whom doesn't talk down on my Niners. Now, I will be honest with the team. I've called them frauds before during that 3-game losing streak. But look, Jeannie, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to keep it real. And does anybody disagree that they played like frauds? Turning it over, bad tackles, not playing up to their standard. If they're not playing up to their standard as a Super Bowl contender, I'm going to call them out. That's what their job is. If I did shitty shows, you should let me know about it. And people do let me know about it.
I like Black Mask. Chase the Trizzy. That's the name of the podcast.
Chase the Trizzy. That's funny. The intro video on YouTube is me just chasing him
Me
around.
running away. Like, yeah.
Connor Bowles! Hi there, I'm Connor. How are you doing today, my YouTube brothers?
What's up, Connor?
Connor. That resets the super chat shot clock, by the way.
Everyone give a KB in the chat to show some love to Connor. What's up? He's our new legend, KB.
Ooh, Amari Cooper inactive.
Ooh.
Short week, that's tough.
That's the other thing.
Steve-O is Trent Williams' groin injury from him tipping plays. That's funny.
All right. Hear me out, Chase. Crazy idea.
Let's hear it.
if we extend it a little bit,
Yeah.
try to get to 1,000.
Oh.
Want to do a little bit of a Thursday night watch party? Can move a few graphics over and we're
That's
good to
just
go.
crazy, man. Al, what is the email? It's down below at the bottom of the screen. Chase@chatsports.com. We are 56 away from 500.
Thanks to Connor making that a little bit easier to get.
56 away from 500.
We also got to put Connor on the board.
Yes, Connor Bowles going on the board. On the board!
Oh, the board! Connor, we hope to see you at future watch parties, guy.
Yeah, Connor's been around.
Yeah, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while.
My fellow YouTube brothers.
I love it, man. I liked his picture, too. He looked like he was really ready for some Niners football. Die-hard fan for sure.
Connor Bowles, you're on there.
Aye.
And I'm going to add 16 Bar King on here, too.
Aye.
He's sending the 2 5s.
See, I'm from the Bay.
Anybody else? We
Where
got
all
Lyle.
of our 49ers players are gonna go and get paid.
Yeah, we're all
Purdy
Gucci.
throwing touchdowns every single day.
Oh, did I reset the Super Chat shot clock? Oh, we're almost at 2 minutes.
Oh no!
A 10, a 9, an 8, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. We'll give you about a 20-second delay. Nick Dolfer, how do we find out the details for the watch parties? Brother, hit the bell icon on YouTube, select all. Therefore, anytime we push out a video or when we go live, you'll be notified. Or simply when there's a Niners game happening, we're live for it on the 49ers Report. So just pop the stream up and we're live. That's it. Simple. Al, did you get the email? Let's see. Yes, I did. Albert Luca Agro. Dear Chase, I was wondering if we have found out what happened to Debo. Also wondering the severity on Trent Williams' injury. So Debo's dealing with the chest or neck injury. I think that's from the whiplash or that Marlon Humphrey hit. That's just a guess, speculating. And then the Trent Williams injury, groin, limited participant in practice. Genie!
We're less than 50 away!
That beats the 20-second delay right there on the Super Chat shot clock. Please add Gina G. Gina G. Gina G. Gina G. Gina G. That's awesome. Gina G going on. Debo took that like a dog, doing the most, didn't he, man? It was incredible. Like, Marlon Humphrey is a really good player. He hit him hard. And what's crazy, if Marlon Humphrey hit me like that, I'd probably go to the hospital with the bruised sternum, right? Debo took that hit, and he barely moved. Like, boom, he's like, oh, I'll just keep running. Like, that was wild. Even Joe Buck was like, that is incredible. It really was. 46 away from 500.
Now, here's a guy that knows how to take a hit from
Now,
a player
here's
like
the guy.
Marlon Humphrey, and
That was the Chris Collinsworth impersonation.
Trizzy Collinsworth.
The Trizzy Collinsworth. The John Gruden. I'll tell you what, man. This Debo Samuel guy, he took a hit from Marlon Humphrey in the chest, man. And he kept moving for the first down, man. Terrence Robinson, you're the man. You're the man.
No, you're the man. Now, here's a guy.
Oh, Black Mask calling Jeannie Wyatt the queen of the red and gold. I love it. Well, you know, there's an argument to be made that she is. Kyle Juszczyk jersey, Super Chat MVP. Debo Samuel,
Queen Faithful.
Super Chat MVP.
She's Queen Faithful.
And she got lucky on the raffle item. Not lucky, but she won it because she donated so much that she also got the Christmas sweater. Debo.
Whoa.
Debo.
Whoa.
I like the headset. It makes you look more professional. See, some people hate the headset.
It's so funny to see like that.
It's so
split.
funny. Like, some people hate the headset. And it's funny because I'm like, well, we do use this to communicate with the producer. And people are like, you don't communicate with the producer. The only way I can hear Trace right now is talking through my ear. And like when we're doing a show, he's saying, 4-minute mark, 8-minute mark,
Ad
sponsor
read,
coming
go
up,
here,
ad
doing
read,
this.
last question in the mailbag. It's useful. Now, sometimes I do wish that I didn't have this headset. And I could look like this, Hair's all messed up right now, but sometimes you wish you could show the face off a little bit. Sometimes I wish we had the arm mic like you have on the radio. I think that could be a better appearance. A lot of content creators have that.
So
it's kind of mixed.
The one thing that I would do if we could switch something is we have like a couch set up and have the mics you can pull.
I would like that.
And it's like you and me or you, me and Chip
We're
sitting
just
down
kicking it.
talking Niners ball.
Yeah, we're just kicking it.
Some graphics of course, but a lot of just us talking.
Al, are you going to do the Browns live show? I am not doing the Browns live show. No. But
That's
Matthew Peterson is live on the Browns Report. All right, we're about to sign off. We got past the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock. It got to 3 minutes. What a day. Content was awesome. Interaction was awesome. We got the $454 in Super Chats. The Doing the Most surfboard from Cabo is going to Black Mask, our Super Chat MVP today. But we had a lot of Super Chat MVPs. From Jay to Jeannie to Nick Dolfer had himself a day. Awesome stuff. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It goes a long way. So for Trizzy, I am Chase. Spend your New Year's Eve with us. Meow. And it's going to be an early game. And maybe we'll go live a little bit earlier for our pregame show on Sunday because we got the $454 in Super Chats. I will say, if you want to make a deal, that if we get to 500, we'll do a 90-minute pregame show on New Year's Eve.
Deal or no deal?
That's what I will say. I'll put up the minute shot clock. And if we get there, we'll go 90 minutes before the game on New Year's Day. Or New Year's Eve. Last year was New Year's Day, and it was crazy. If not, we'll see a little bit more than an hour. I'll make that deal. Hour 5, hour 10, hour 15. But that's what we'll do. Minute Super Chat shot clock. Black Mask, if you go to the Super Bowl too, hopefully I'll see you there as well. I might even be there if the Niners are not playing to cover it here for Chat Sports. So, if that's the case and y'all still go, then let's link. We'll have a drink. Black Mask, maybe that's our opportunity to get a cigar and a whiskey. 52 seconds left on the shotty.
There's a lot of people in this life that I have that I'd like to smoke a cigar with and have a glass of whiskey. John Daly and Matthew McConaughey. A Joe Rogan.
John Daly, Woo Pig.
Woo Pig. But Black Mask is up at the very top tier, upper echelon of that list.
He might even be ahead of John Daly and Matthew McConaughey.
Has to be.
Awesome. Jesse, the only thing is that you guys are ahead of the game, so you say it before I see the game. Here's what you can do, Jesse. You can pause us, let the game catch up, and sync it. That's an option as well. All right. David. He said, horseshit, no Eagles live, but there's a Niners live stream. More subscribers, that takes priority. But, David, I'm going live for an Eagles postgame show after the game. So, conflicts with the schedule, it sucks. But we've been able to do every game for both squads up to this point.
90-minute pregame show. 90-minute pregame show. 90-minute pregame show.
We're going live 90 minutes before the game, thanks to Jeannie. Chug, chug, chug. Love y'all. Oh my gosh. I don't have another drink, but I will chug my water.
I can fill up the beer bong with you want me to.
I'll chug my water here, Jeannie, and I owe you a drink on Sunday. How about that?
Start the stream off with a shotgun to set the standard. That'd be crazy.
That's what we're doing.
We have to.
Jeannie, I will start the live stream off on Sunday with the shotgun for you with that $50 super chat. That's the deal. So 90-minute pregame show on New Year's Eve, and I'll start this show with the shotgun for you. Jeannie Wyatt, legend, as Black Mask would say, the queen.
The Queen Jeannie
of the red and gold. For the faithful, he's Trizzy. I'm Chase. Thanks for having a blast with us on this Thursday, and we'll see you on Sunday. San Francisco, we out. See ya.